Honorable Men Discord, an illegal immigrant caused a fatal accident on a Florida Turnpike. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I appreciate all of those that I met along the way outside and gave me a shout out. I appreciate you all. For those of you who haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let's get straight to it. So there was an illegal immigrant who made his way to the country from India, who obtained a California driver's license and was seen driving a tractor trailer on a Florida Turnpike as he attempted to make a U-turn. By doing so, unfortunately, a minivan crashed into the tractor trailer and took the lives of 3 people. But what I have queued up here is the Fox 35 Orlando news report about that incident, and I'm going to talk about it further right after. So let's get into that.
This viral video shows a semi-driver allegedly making an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike, killing 3 people. And now the Department of Homeland Security is getting involved. Let's get over to Fox 35's Stephanie Buffamonte. She is live here in the studio tonight. So, Stephanie, they say that driver was here in this country illegally.
Luann, that is right. This is, of course, a tragedy for the 3 people killed in the crash. But this crash is now the center of a political issue between the state of Florida, California, and the White House, because the suspected truck driver is an Indian national who was allegedly in the U.S. illegally. The Department of Homeland Security says this video is part of their investigation. It gives a view from inside the semi. DHS says it shows the exact moment that Harjinder Singh made an illegal U-turn, turned his truck into traffic, and caused the crash that killed 3 people. It happened on Florida's Turnpike in St. Lucie County last week. The agency said in a press release, quote, "His face shows no shock or remorse for his actions or the lives he destroyed." According to Florida Highway Patrol, Singh crossed the Mexico border illegally in 2018. Troopers say he was given a CDL license in California. I spoke with Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer.
In Florida, we do not allow illegal aliens to have driver's licenses or these CDL licenses. We're certainly at risk as a state because of the open border policies and the sanctuary policies of other states. Which is why we're going to fight back. We're going to continue pursuing ways to identify individuals that might be trying to come into this state illegally and jeopardize the safety of Florida families.
DHS said in part, quote, "How many more innocent people have to die before Gavin Newsom stops playing games with the safety of the American public?" The governor of California responded, sharing this photo on X. His office says it is illegal to get a CDL license if someone is here illegally, but says the federal government gave Singh a work permit which would allow him to be eligible for the license. We reached out to his office. In a statement, a spokesperson told us this, quote, "Why don't you ask Trump about the driver's federally issued work permit and when he entered this country? Spoiler alert, it was in 2018 under Trump. Whoops. He would have been eligible in any state. California followed federal law, something the president knows nothing about." Singh is facing 3 counts of vehicular homicide. If he's convicted,
Floridians should rest assured that this individual who took the 3 lives will indeed serve time here in Florida before getting handed over to ICE and going back where he came from.
now Singh will be in court tomorrow afternoon. Live in the studio.
So let me get to this next clip that I have. This is an update on.
Also breaking tonight, the truck driver accused of killing 3 people in a crash on the Turnpike has landed here in Florida after being extradited from California.
Video from Fox News shows the undocumented immigrant arriving in Tallahassee earlier tonight. Florida's lieutenant governor personally traveled to California to escort the 28-year-old back to our state to face charges.
CBS News' Miami's Anna McAllister is at the Florida Highway Patrol in Sweetwater with the latest for us.
All three of the victims who were killed in this accident are from right here in South Florida. And this crash continues to gain controversy as our governor and California's governor continue to clash over immigration. 28-year-old Harjinder Singh, an undocumented immigrant, touches down in Florida Thursday night. Governor Ron DeSantis not mincing words on Fox News.
I think to hold California accountable, what you're really going to need is Congress to defund sanctuary states and to reel in the laws that are allowing people to game the asylum system. He came from India, halfway around the world.
Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins made the cross-country trip to personally escort Singh back.
This is not performative. This is what leadership should be.
On Tuesday, Singh had his first appearance in court in Stockton, California, before heading back to Florida to face 3 vehicular homicide charges.
Yank the business license of the trucking company that employed this guy. And Florida, we're going to go after this company too.
Why did he get a license? If he couldn't speak English, he didn't know road signs, you're focused on something that's nonsense when he shouldn't have got a license in California to freaking begin with.
This surveillance video from August 12th shows the moment Singh made an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike in Fort Pierce. A black minivan smashes into the truck, killing 3 people in the van. The driver, a 30-year-old man from Florida City, a 37-year-old woman from Pompano Beach, and a 54-year-old man from Miami. Officials say in 2018, Singh, who was from India, illegally entered California, where he obtained his commercial driver's license.
He didn't have basic English proficiency. He didn't know the road signs, and yet he is driving a giant vehicle across our state. 3 lives lost because of Gavin Newsom, because of California's failed policies.
Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Governor Newsom described Collins' trip as a photo op and criticized Florida officials for letting a, quote, murder suspect walk. Newsom's office also said that Singh obtained a work permit while President Trump was in office. FHP is the lead on this investigation, and the identities of the 3 victims has not yet been released. But for now, reporting from Sweetwater, Adam McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
Where do I start? Well, first of all, that trucking company should be closed down just for the negligence. Yes, we'll address California. How did he get his hands on a license? There's so many, I don't want to say hiccups, because this wasn't a hiccup. For him to obtain the license, it would be different if they said the license was fraudulent. But it's a legit license. So this is not a matter of hiccups. This is a matter of just unprofessionalism, looking the other way, giving the blind eye, as some might say. How else could I word this? I'm just not understanding how someone like the gentleman mentioned that doesn't speak English was able to get a driver's license. That is where I get confused. So he doesn't speak English. The trucking company, did they even allow him to drive to see if he knew what he was doing? I don't know if this is a co-driver next to him. This is a major disaster, major infraction, major mess up. I'm keeping it PG. For the life of me, what was he thinking? All right, you don't speak English, right? But as a driver, driving is universal. Whether you're driving in other countries where you may not be driving on the left-hand side, you're driving on the right-hand side. One thing is universal about driving is signals, using your signals, slowing down. When you're making a U-turn, you're supposed to be slowing down. It was definitely an illegal U-turn, but I don't understand why he didn't put the hazards on. He could have slowed down, looked at his mirrors, right? Let cars pass by. Because if it was one of those, I don't know what the Turnpike was like, but if it was during the hours when they were running a lot of vehicles, you could slow down, put your hazard lights on, let vehicles go, then slowly go. But he was in motion. It didn't seem like he slowed down. He was in motion. He clearly didn't check his mirrors, because if he would have checked his mirrors, he would have saw vehicles behind him to let him know that wouldn't have been a good idea. I don't know what the man was thinking. And the fact that even when I watched the camera from inside the cab, he has like no pulse. The man has no pulse. I was confused when I first saw this. When this first broke, I was confused. I said, this guy has no pulse. There's no reaction. He didn't look startled, like, oh my God, what did I just do? Because as a driver myself, if I did something like this, I would have froze up, and my facial expression would have shown that I'm in shock. Because I know what hit my vehicle. I can see it. He was able to look. But the way he made the turn, he was able to see something, obviously a vehicle, hit the back of the tractor trailer. And no facial expression. The facial expression remained the same when he began the turn to when the accident took place. His facial expression did not change. And I saw this news report. I said, what is wrong with this guy? Right? What's this guy's mental capacity? Because he doesn't operate like a normal person, if there is a such thing. Normal in the sense that, again, I didn't see any type of shock. You saw the news report showed him standing up as the firefighters were trying to remove the individuals or remove the vehicle from underneath the tractor trailer. He was just standing there with a blank stare. Very odd situation. Now, do I think he's a murderer? No, this is definitely an accident, but unfortunately it's an accident that produced individuals that died due to the accident. So yes, he's definitely going to go to jail without a question. He's going to jail. But California messed up, because how was he able to get the CDL? You got to take a test. If he doesn't speak English, is he able to read English? I really don't understand how he pulled that off. I really don't understand. I don't know if someone looked out for him, if he knows someone that looked out for him and just gave it to him because he needed a job, which is most likely what they're going to investigate. That's a whole nother story. And I've said this before in the past, and I know it's going to sound like I'm condoning illegal activity, but I'm really not. But this world was just built on scandal, wars, favoritism. The idea of doing things the right way, being fair, is such a joke to me. Now, if anyone disagrees with me, I'll see you in the comments. Just keep it respectful. By no means am I suggesting that one go out there and do things illegally and think you're going to get away with it. All right? I'm not telling you to do that, especially if you're a person of color, especially. All right? I think it's clear to you. The game is rigged. I've said this before. The game is rigged. There's going to be individuals that slip through side doors, back doors, unscathed. And then when you try to do it, you get picked up. And then now you're the poster child for, I'm rambling. But hear me out on this. How does a man receive a CDL from California? How does he then, after doing that, he has to know somebody. After doing that, he gets a job with a trucking company. I'm just going to assume how this played out. Obviously, the same trucking company that hired him knew someone who knew someone that could get him a CDL because they needed somebody. But the trucking company cut corners because they figure either the trucking company is friends of a friend, or they just trying to pay somebody next to nothing to run the routes to save money. Now, by doing whichever one it is, regardless if it's a favor for a friend or a favor for a family, or it's trying to cut corners to save money, they now are in a position to end up closing shop because 3 people died. And that's not to say one person dying isn't a tragedy, all right? But 3 people died because of a legal Who makes a U-turn with a tractor trailer? Listen, I never owned a CDL license, and that's the last thing I'm going to do with a tractor trailer is make a U-turn on a highway. All right, I've seen it all. I've seen tractor trailers stuck under bridges because they weren't supposed to get on a particular road in the first place. And that's why there's signs before you enter certain expressways, highways, turnpikes, because they know that sometimes there's underpasses that the trucks won't make due to their height. And I've seen it in real time. I've seen trucks stuck underneath certain underpasses. But I say that to say this. In his situation, he clearly, first of all, how did he even pass the exam? I mean, there's so many levels of how did this happen? So many questions, I should say, of how did this happen? Because he doesn't speak English. He sat down, took an exam. How did he pass? Unless he can read English, but how did he pass? Then he passed. Did he have any previous experience with driving a tractor trailer? Tractor trailer is not like a regular car. It's not push to start and you're gone. You know, there's air brakes and all types of stuff. More stuff than I even know. But I know there's air brakes. It's not that simple. All right. So no one gave him a pep talk. They just assumed he knew what he was doing. Or did he lie and say, I've been driving for a while? I don't. There's so much more that needs to come out on this. Because, again, the trucking company has a lot of questions that they have the answers to, I believe. There's a lot of questions that the trucking company has the answers to, because this doesn't make any sense. It's wild to me that he made that U-turn. It really is. And talk about just being lazy. Rather than get off the following exit, even though it might have been miles away, doing it the safe way, he's trying to make a U-turn. Listen, I don't think he woke up that morning saying I want to take lives. So I'm not going to look at him as like this murderer. But it was a foolish mistake that cost the lives of 3 people, unfortunately. And my condolences to their family and friends because of the negligence of him, the negligence of California, and the negligence of the company that hired him. But I'm going to keep a close watch to this, see what the update is as far as if they follow up with what the company has to say, the trucking company. And clearly California, they're going to bounce around the blame right now. The blame is going to get bounced around. California can't really deflect the blame because you issued a driver's license to someone that doesn't speak English. All right, so you could try to deflect and say, oh, how the company, they hired him, how they hired him is like, no. He's a legal immigrant and you gave him a driver's license. So actually, they're deflecting to Trump, as you saw in this news report, this last news report I posted. They deflected to Trump. So they're playing that game. Well, it's Trump. Right, but how did he pass the exam? That's what I want to know. How did he pass the exam? Listen, first of all, to get a CDL, you have to first have a regular driver's license. How did he get a regular driver's license? I noticed the news didn't bring that up. At least that's the way I thought it works. You have to first have a regular driver's license, then you. So if he's not here legally, how did he get a regular driver's license to then upgrade to a CDL? Or did he just get here and he knew people? He made a few phone calls to family and friends that are already down, touched down and live here. They're already acclimated here, and they were able to connect him with someone that just gave him a CDL. He just bypassed a driver's license. I'm confused as to what just took place with this thing. I would be livid if my family members passed away from this stupidity. But that's all I have on this episode. What's your thoughts? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. And stay honorable.